All right. What's up, everybody, and especially my MCs? How have y'all been? I know it has been a minute. It's been a minute. But during that minute, I was busy, y'all. I was busy, had my head down, moving my brain forward. I had some, hey, hold on. In Truth Secrets in the building. Hold on a second. Where is that? Where is that? Come on. All right. What's up, intro seeker? Now listen. Okay, wait, how do I do this again? Hold on a second. Um, how do I drop the link oh, right here. Okay. Copy. All right. So at any time, I'm gonna put the link in the chat because at any time, in any point in time during this live broadcast, if you want to come up and share or whatever, feel free to do so. And I will happily pop you up on stage. So, but and let me, I'm on my computer, so I can't give any blue hearts back, but blue hearts all the way around. Anyway, so I have been busy, y'all. So this is what I am turning into. First of all, my mission is my message. My message is my mission, I should say. My message is my mission. So that's what's most important. But in order for my message to really get out there, obviously, I need to grow my audience and become monetized. So that's the second priority. But until that happens, I still got to pay the bills and feed myself and my doggy, right? So therefore, I'm still building my daytime job, which is a restaurant operations consultant, and I'm starting to do workshops in New York, around New York. So I had a workshop 2 weeks ago. So I was busy creating that, developing that, and then of course launching that, and then coming back and just kind of getting my bearings. But it was fun. It was good. I enjoyed it, and that is the direction that I want to go, more into public speaking on both circuits, right? On the circuit of my brand here at the Mental Chiropractor, where I talk about basically how we are all one, how we are all connected. But in order to do that, I first need to break down the paradigms. I first need to break down this mental programming that we're all under. And the programs are meant for different groups of people. And we're going to talk about that. Different groups of people are programmed differently. And then there's a universal program that we are all under. So y'all, we're basically getting a double whammy of being doubly programmed. And that's a good thing to talk about because that just came to me. But yeah, it's almost as if on the spiritual realm, we are creating twice, once through thought and then through manifestation. Well, the same thing in the programming world, we are being programmed twice, a universal program, and then there's programs specific to each group, right? Thank you. I'm working on to learn more about plants and for yes, yeah. I'm in a group. It's called the Ascension Community, and we have people like who are about that life. We have herbalists in that community. We have bartering. We have the plant and foraging. Yes, it's basically a sovereign community, and how to really kind of exit the system and realize that we really have all the power. So that is really good because that's also very sustainable, right? That is really how, if you can exit the system by creating your own food, and that's huge. That's huge in Truth Seeker. So absolutely. All right. So in this live today, y'all, we're going to talk about the quote Black end quote experience, right? Because as I was talking about that double programming, yeah, the quote Black end quote people, and the reason why I put that quote in that word in quote, I feel like the weeds are popping up around us because they are trying to heal us. There probably is some medicinal healing in weeds, although weeds are very tabooed, but they have a purpose. Everything has a purpose. And as long as we learn what their purpose is, and then we can work harmoniously with that agent of whatever it is to get the true blessings out of it, right? The true gain out of it, the assistance out of it. Yeah. Yeah. And what are you foraging? What are you planting? Okay. So anyway, back to yeah, absolutely. So back to the quote black end quote experience. The reason why I put that word in quotes, ladies and gentlemen, my MCs and the MC friends. First of all, I'm sorry. My name is Tezra, and if you are about that life of freeing yourself, of reclaiming your power, of taking back your hijacked mind and popping yourself back down into the driver's seat of your life, then this is a community for you. So I invite you to go ahead and subscribe. I'm not as regular as I want to be, but I am striving to be so. And with your support, I'm sure that we can get there together. But anyway, this is pretty much an exclusive community. And when I say exclusive, I don't mean that, oh, we're so special and, we're elite. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about it's a specific mindset. So it's not subscribing to the narrative of mainstream media, of what society has prescribed for us and written for us to subscribe to, and is deviating from that, is deviating from those narratives, those limiting beliefs that are ingrained through how media, especially the corporate news outlets, how they put images in front of us as if it's factual and as if the images has everything to do, a direct connection with the largest organ of your body, which is the skin, and the melanin level in it or the lack thereof. It's like if you are starting to realize that all of that was hogwash and we are being hoodwinked and bamboozled, then baby, this is a community for you. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button and smash that like button on your way in or on your way out as well. Because as you all know, it helps the YouTube algorithm, they say. I'm very new here, so I'm just regurgitating what I see the pros say. Okay. So they must be doing something right. So I'm just going to follow in their footsteps. So thank you for being here, because honestly, you could be anywhere in this YouTube world, but you decided to stop by here. And for that, I am grateful. I am glad that you're here, or I'm glad that you stopped by. Okay. So with that being said, the narratives, so that's what this community is about. So I want true subscribers. I don't want people to subscribe just because, I don't know, you like the logo or whatever the case, whatever have you. I want you to subscribe because you are really ready to be in control of your life. You're really ready to take your life to that next level. You're really ready to find that inner peace, that inner joy that cannot be disturbed. Not saying that it turns you into a robot, but you know how to cipher out your feelings and you know how to monitor your emotions through your thoughts. So that's what this community is about. And there's a couple of communities out there. Valerie Love is a community. She has a very big following and a big audience. But she is one that is about that life. And then you have Megan McGlover. She is about that life. And then you have a whole host of other YouTubians out here. That's what Umar said. Oh, y'all, Umar I haven't been to his Instagram, but as I was going to my IG page to figure out to share what I'm going to share and to get through what we're going to get through today, Umar popped up on my Instagram, and I said, "Oh, this is tempting. Should we take a look? Should we look at what Umar is talking about?" But I don't know. We may or we may not. And as a sidebar too, I don't know. Y'all tell me something. All people who are here, maybe none, but let me know if y'all are familiar with the whole Marianne Lorient, because I haven't seen much activity from her lately. I passed by. Okay. Yeah. I was like, oh, should I? But I didn't. But also I feel that Marianne Lorient, the bottom of her platform has fell out because of the whole Checkgate scandal. So if anybody knows any about that, feel free to share. I'm willing to entertain that because I'm kind of curious myself. And also with Lennon Honor is still very much on my radar because I just want to juxtapose the two lives that he had on YouTube, the one that he used to have and the one that he has now. So that is still on my radar, and hopefully my brother at Joe Trace will be an assistance when that time comes to help me out with that, because like I said, he is the professor of Lennonology and he has all of the receipts, y'all. And not to say that they're bad receipts, but he just has the historical context to what may be going on now. Um, so with that being said, let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about one more time. The Black experience. Okay, let's talk about it. Okay. The quote Black end quote experience. And the reason why I put that word into quotes is because there's no such thing. There is literally no such thing as a Black human being, as a white human being, as a yellow human being, as a brown human being. Black, white, yellow, brown. I think that's all of the colors, right? There's really no such thing. And if you're using these terms without even recognizing or realizing that it's no such things, and you are using these terms because it's embedded in your subconscious because you are deeply programmed. Okay. And I also want to preface by saying this is not for the thin-skinned people. Okay. I'm not here to make anyone feel good. I'm not here to be your best friend. I'm not here to coddle your feelings. I'm not here to share the victimhood blanket with you. I'm not here for that. And this community is not that. So that's why I said this is an exclusive community, because it takes a certain level of mindset, in really order to gain and glean the liberties and the empowerment that this community is created to have and to offer and to foster. Okay, so because you see that I am a melanated woman, don't assume that I am a woman, a melanated woman. Well, I should say Black. Okay, I'm going to say Black. Don't assume that I'm a Black woman who subscribes to the narrative of what society has given us to digest, ingest, imbibe, and therefore our experiences mimic all of that which is going on in our inner world, because I am not the girl. Okay. I know that I look familiar, but I'm not. So, and unapologetically. So I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but I'm also trying not to coddle feelings either at the same time, because as I am embarking on my awakening journey, I'm seeing how all of this is just hogwash. We're all being hoodwinked and bamboozled. And so I'm here to let us know. So if you are here to fight for your limitations, this is the wrong area and the wrong community to do that, because I'm going to let you have your limitations. I'm not going to fight you for your limitations. Okay. So, and history is a form of limitation. And I'm going to get to that eventually. Let me go back to my comments. Let me see. Just truth. Exactly. It's just truth that we are discussing here. And in discussing that truth, we can change the narrative when we change our God dog it in Truth Seeker 11. Listen, you already starting. Come on now. Come on. All right. You about to get me hyped up in this piece. Woo-wee. All right. Exactly. When we change our perspective, then we change the narrative. The narrative changes based on our perspective. And when you change your perspective, you change your lived experience. Your lived experience is just a reflection of what's going on in your inner world, governed by your thoughts. That's what this is all about, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why people like In Truth Seeker, we got Jay Charles in the building, and we also have Kimiko, and we got a host of other people who are in this community, because we are realizing, we are waking up to what the patriarchal society has created. And it's been based on a lie the whole entire time, for justification and for power. Okay, that's what it has been created for justification, for the treatment of the human beings that they enslaved, and to maintain their power. That's what this black, white, yellow, brown, whatever color out there that I'm forgetting about, that's what this was all created for. But if you break it down, and I break it down to its most simplistic form, its most simplistic ideology, because I have to, because the skin, if you didn't know, is the largest organ of the body. That's what the skin is. The skin is the largest organ of the body, which means it's a bodily function. It's part of what makes up this physical vehicle that we operate. That's what the skin is. Just like the lungs, just like your heart, just like your kidneys, just like your spleen, just like your bladder. and any other organ out there that I don't know about. Okay. The skin is a part of the body. So if the skin is a part of the body, it has no power. Just like your lungs have nothing to do with what you can do in the future, what you can do with your life, your potential as a human being, just as the lung doesn't have that power to determine that, neither does the skin. The skin is just a part of your biological makeup. It is the largest organ of your body. Come on, somebody. It's our temple. All right, Todd. All right, Todd. That's exactly right. It's our temple. Our body is our temple, and the skin is simply the covering of that temple. The skin has no power to do anything. So the fact that we have a whole society built on the mindset that the skin is a determinant of anything. I mean, when you look at the news, they have segmented this whole society, this whole population, especially in the United States, based off of skin, as if the skin has anything to do with the potential that anybody wants to have for their life. Our temple houses our spirit. Exactamundo. That's right. Our spirit is simply operating this vehicle, which is our temple. Some people refer to it as your temple. The spirit is just operating this vehicle. And that's the only temple God can dwell in because it wasn't created. God dog it, y'all. Listen, y'all not finna get me all excited just yet. We just getting started. All right. We are just getting started. Y'all already coming with the heat. Y'all are already coming with the white light, the lavender light, the gold light heat. All right. So yes, and the spirit is operating because you know what? I went to a funeral where I went to I want to call it a transitioning ceremony. I am really purging myself of using all of these terms that has been given to us to use because I was in my Ascension community. We're reading a book right now. I forgot what it's called, but it's by Greg Braden. Yeah. Is it? Yeah. Greg Braden. He's on my screen right now. Anyway, the book is written by Greg Braden. And what the idea is that the thoughts that we have are not our own. A graduation. Oh, I like that. A graduation. That's right. Because every time we come into this lived experience, every time we incarnate in a physical body, and when we leave, we're graduating to the next level. Every single life is a lesson for our whole spiritual essence. And every single incarnation, we're graduating to eventually where we have become like bodhisattvas or such enlightened beings that we don't have to come back unless we choose to come back in order to serve humanity, which is what some of the ideologies and the philosophy of what Jesus did. He had a choice to come back after he attained his enlightenment, his complete enlightenment. He attained it and he chose to come back to show him humanity and be a beacon for humanity. Life is a boot camp. Okay. Y'all, I ain't playing with y'all right now. I promise you, I'm not playing with y'all. Yes, yes, and yes. Todd, I hope you went ahead and subscribe. Did you subscribe? Because you got it. You got it. I could tell by the way you speak that you got it. So I hope you subscribed. And if you did, welcome. You are our newest MC. Okay, because a mental chiropractor, we are here to crack the mind because right now the mind is out of alignment. So when you go to a chiropractor, what do? They crack your spine so that it's back in alignment. And that's exactly what we're doing with our minds. We're cracking our minds so that we are back in alignment with our sovereignty, with our source, with universe. See, right now, when our mind is out of alignment, that's because our mind is given over to the patriarchy, to the colonial system. But when we crack our minds back into alignment, then we are aligning ourselves back to our source. Yes, True Seeker just gave you a heart, back to our source. Okay, so yes, welcome, Todd. If you subscribed, you are our newest MC. So welcome to the fold. And like I said, this is an exclusive group. It's an exclusive channel, but not because, you know, we're like egoistic. It's not because of that. It's just because our minds are, we are unlearning and relearning. So we are reprogramming our minds. And you, my dear friend, my fellow brother, seems like that you are doing exactly that. So welcome. So anyway, I forgot what I was saying, but the as we begin to take back our minds, see, we have to realize that our thoughts, our belief is not our fault. It's not our fault because we were indoctrinated into this system. We were indoctrinated into this system. So we were given our beliefs, we were given our thoughts until we get to a point in our journey where we begin to be shown, however we are shown, however we embark upon our awakening journey, then it starts to say, wait a second. Okay, now I am looking through a different lens. Now I have shifted frequencies, so I'm looking at it through a different perspective. Well, hello. I didn't even want to attempt to pronounce your name, but welcome. And don't be trolling me. You ain't trolling me, are you? Because I know them trolls beyond here. Because I haven't seen you in here before, but maybe you have been and I just didn't see you. So anyway, so welcome. But anyway, so when we begin to shift our perspective, then we look back and be like, oh my goodness, wait a second. Y'all, I be goddamn. They've been lying to me this entire time. Yep. They've been showing images to me to in order for my frequency to be so low that I have a matching lived experience to that low vibrational frequency. Yep, that's what the images are for. They're using every single image as an example as to this is how your life is because you have this shade of skin tone, whether it's non-melanated or whether it's melanated or anything in between. That's what these images are for. And then when we begin to come under our awakening a journey, then it says it's like a program and we are what they call the virus. But it's a good virus to break down the program, which is the real sickness. Okay, let me munch on that a little bit. Let me see. I'm gonna munch on that a little bit. In Truth Seeker. It's like a program, and we are what they call the virus. But it's a good virus to break down the program, which is the real sickness. Okay. Thank you for that. So when the programming happens, right, they're infecting the virus into our minds and we become that virus. Like we are the living, breathing virus. But then in Truth Seeker, I don't know if this is a male or a female, but it's a good virus to break down the program, which is the real sickness. So let me see if I can break this down, and feel free to come on. Hold on, let me put the link in the chat, and you don't have to have your camera on if you don't want to. Low vibrating people will keep us down if we let them. Yes. So it's a good virus to break down. So and I think that's what you're talking about, the journey. On this journey, we are breaking down the virus that they infected us with. So because that program is the real sickness. The programming is the real sickness. And so when we embark upon our journey, we begin to break down that virus, which is the real sickness of the program. I hope I got that right. You can correct me if I didn't, but I hope that the interpretation was correct. So when they categorized us into the matrix, basically. Yeah. And it's funny because I was just talking about the matrix yesterday morning because we had this one gentleman, his name is Calvin, and he's, oh my gosh. Woo! Calvin be going deep. I mean, like you need your scuba gear when you listen to Calvin speak. He'd be going deep. But yeah, we were talking about that. And he was basically talking about how, when we think we have choices and how the illusion is, and there's plenty of illusions out there, but one of the illusions is that we have choices, right? So he said that, take for instance, when you want to go grocery shopping, you feel like you have the choice of which grocery store that you want to go to. You can go to the Piggly Wiggly, you can go to the Kroger's, you can go to Whole Foods, you can go to Publix, wherever, maybe some of y'all are familiar with these grocery stores and maybe not, but whatever grocery stores are in your area, you feel like you have the choice of whatever grocery store that you want to go to or whatever hospital that you want to go to. But really the choices are preordained choices. Right. And that's part of the matrix. It is preordained. So you had the choices that I gave for you. So I chose your option of choices because this is what is presented to you, which is fine. But here is the thing. Okay. Listen to this closely. Here is the thing. You have to realize that you are in the matrix, and in the matrix as an observer, you will begin to say, okay, these are the choices that are presented to me, and I conscientiously can choose the best choice for me out of these preordained choices, because everybody's not going to go and open up a grocery store, or everybody's not going to go and start a hospital or open up a hospital or establish a hospital. We're not all going to do that. But what we can do is make conscientious choices from being in the matrix. And see, here's the thing. Here's the difference. And the Bible talks about this, although it says the world. I'm going to substitute the world with the matrix, being in the matrix or being of the matrix. So when you begin to understand on the journey that you are to observe, right? Let me see if I recall this correctly. I was in this one spiritual circle that I had to leave for other reasons, but she called the Trinity that you are the creator, you are the observer, and you are the experiencer. You are the creator, you are the observer, and you are the experiencer. Not necessarily in that order, but that's the Trinity. That is the true Trinity that she was talking about. Okay. So as the observer in the matrix, you are observing what is going on, and then you can make your choice based on what you're observing that best suits you. And simultaneously, a few things can be true at the same time. And in this realm, it often is, even though I know that society makes it seem like it's polarized, it's black and white, it's either this or that. But when you elevate to another realm, when you elevate and start ascending in your spiritual journey, you understand that no, quite a few things are true at the same time. So you are the observer, you are also the creator, and you are the experiencer of that which you have created. Okay, so it is all things. Hold on a second, let me see what your what y'all are saying. I was talking to my husband about the matrix yesterday and how Morpheus made it out the matrix, but he had to die in the physical. Yes, I don't agree with the choice A or choice B option, because it's really not your choice. Right, it isn't your choice. But the thing is that in a place where we have to make a choice, we got to make that choice conscientiously. We have to make a conscious choice, because a lot of the things, this society, we are operating in an unconscious society, which is why you see all the mayhem that's going on, which is why you see all people losing their minds behind certain things that are happening that the government is behind to make sure that it happens. Because they know that they have to keep the collective asleep. They have to keep the collective working in the unconsciousness. And that's where the low vibration exists. And where the low vibration exists, that's where the power lies. Their power lives in the low vibrational frequency, which is where they need us, because they need that low vibrational energy in order to feed and power them, which keeps them in power. Okay. So thank you, True Seeker 11. All right. So that's why I opt out when it comes down to a lot of things in order to continue on my journey the best way I see fit. Yes. And you know where I opt out? And I think we talked about this before. One of the things that I opt out on, ladies and gentlemen, is I do not participate in the whole black, white, well, now they want to say African-American, which is the dumbest label ever. I just want y'all to know that you're better off just using black or people of color, POC or whatever, than African American. That shit is dumb as hell. It makes no sense whatsoever. And I don't even have to tell you why. All you got to do is apply a modicum of critical thinking and it'll come to you. Like, oh yeah, right. That shit don't make any sense. Absolutely. It doesn't. Only those people who are trying to sound sophisticated, you know, who are trying to sound polished or advanced or progressive or whatever, they'll use African American. That shit is dumb. That definitely is no such thing. Definitely isn't. And the closest thing to an African American would be Elon Musk. Just saying. Just saying. You're mad if you want to. Just saying. I hate that we have to even select anything. I am that I am. And let me tell you something. That's what I was getting to in True Secret 11. I don't select shit. On the medical, when you go into the doctors and they give you out these forms to fill, and then they say, what race are you or whatever. I don't select that. I hit other. I check other, and then I write in human. Okay. Y'all got me long enough. You have me no more. I participated for long enough, and you no longer have my participation. Or whatever it is, whatever government or I don't know if anything bank wise or infrastructure wise has you to fill out like your race, but I don't participate anymore. I do not participate. I am that I am. Okay, and y'all got to work with that. So anyway, so as far as what was I saying? Let me see. Let me go back. Yeah. And the truth is, in Truth Seeker, you don't have to select anything. You ain't got to select it. You can unsubscribe from all of that. That's how you begin to exit the system. Okay. And what you talked about, Morpheus, see, I've only seen the Matrix like one time, maybe 1.5. Y'all don't judge me. Don't judge me. I've only seen the Matrix like 1.5 times, but that is absolutely right. In order for you to realize who you really are, you have to die to your ego. You got to die to this realm, this 3D realm. You got to suffer an ego death. And it's not the easiest thing. And some of us are still going through our ego death. I go through my ego death every day. And sometimes I'm not even aware. Sometimes I'm not even aware. But we go through our ego death every single day. Okay. And part of that ego death, part of that is unsubscribing to these dumbass labels that was created by Friedrich Blumenbach back in the 1800s, early 1800s, black, white, so and so and so and so. Because before that, there was no such thing. That's not how humans were referred to. They were referred to as their lineage, their family lineage or their family name or whatever have you. But nobody was referred to as what we call now, I call it the crayon effect. And Crayola is not my manufacturer. Y'all probably have heard me say that before, but Crayola is not my manufacturer. And I'm going to get to the quote Black Inkwell experience in a second, but I just need to break this down for a second, okay? Because Crayola is not my manufacturer. So therefore, I'm not a crayon, and you're not going to have me naming myself after some wax colored crayons. I'm not doing it. Even though these terms probably came out before but did they come out before crayons? How old are crayons? How old is the color palette? I don't know. What came before, the horse or the carriage, the chicken or the egg? I'm not sure. But anyway, I was checking the comments. Okay. Anyway, if you are here, I hope that you hit that like button on your way in. And yes, yep, that's right. And if you if this resonates with you, then please go ahead and subscribe, because I'm only looking for true subs, right? I'm only looking for true subs. And those are people who are truly taking back their hijacked minds. That's who we are, because we need support on this journey. This journey, y'all, I'm gonna tell you now, this journey is not easy. Okay, it's not easy, and it can be quite lonely. Why? Because it's kind of like you are the only one in your family, unless you are blessed enough to be born into a family of awakened people. But really, you are probably the only one in your family who is starting to wake up to this. And then you still got the people in your family watching CNN and watching all these other news channels and then regurgitating it to you as if it's truth. But it's all programming, and they don't even realize that they're operating under programming. And then when you are, soft shoeing it, trying to like lightly put them on, or I don't know, you may be punching them in the face with it. I'm not sure, but they're really not getting it. They're like, okay. Every family has at least one, and this is ours. That person, the 8-ball, the black sheep or whatever, but actually we are the light. We are the North Star, because we are beginning to take back our power. We are beginning to reclaim, besiege, maybe our power. Is that a word? I just made it up, so it is. But yeah, so this journey is not easy. And so the best way is to connect yourself, to tether yourself with like-minded people so that you are supported, so that you won't get thrown off on your journey, so that you can continue your journey. I tell my grandma to turn off the news. Yep, it's all energy harvesting. That's exactly is. Yep. Then and they need our grandmas, our parents, our classmates, our co-workers, our pastors, the parishioners. They need their energy in order to feed their machine. Their machine eats off and feeds off and lives off, is powered up by the low vibrational frequency of our energy. Because when we begin to exit the system, that's what starves the machine. It can't feed itself. It feeds off of the energetic frequencies of the collective. It cannot feed itself. But if the collective begin to elevate their frequencies, elevate their vibration, that's what kills the machine, because then the collective realize that, we're actually not divided. We actually are one. And when they become under the awareness of oneness, then they realize that they are in the majority. They are the actually ones in power, which defeats the machine. I know we are a long way from there, but this is the genesis of that. All right. So understand, when you stop referring to yourself as quote black end quote and the black experience. So maybe now I can kind of migrate into that. When you stop feeling the need, because this is the programming, when you feel the need to have, and I'm going to go into y'all, where did my Instagram post go? Here it is. Okay. I'm going to share with an Instagram post, probably a few of them, but when we stop feeling the need or feeling like, oh, we have done something because we're the first black this or the first black that, that's where it started, because now they're starting to do the first, whatever, woman, Haitian, Asian American, whatever, because now they just got to be consistent with it. Correct. So, but when we begin to realize, when we fall under that and we feel so happy and so proud and, oh, we're really doing something, we're making progress or whatever. No, that is a programming. That is the illusion of making you think so. Because when you continue to subscribe to the first black this and the first black that, no, your skin had absolutely nothing to do with anything with your accomplishment. I need us all to understand that our skin has absolutely nothing to do with our accomplishment. Okay, Todd came through and said that it is a covering of our vehicle, the covering of our temple. That's all that it is. The skin is the largest organ of your body that has no power to do any sort of deductive reasoning. It has no power to do any sort of calculations. It has no power to do any sort of logistical analysis, nothing. The skin has nothing to do with anything, and it never did. But they had to program the mind behind the concept of skin so that people who looked down at their skin and saw their skin in a certain hue, automatically their mind would adjust to whatever the programming that they developed for that individual who dons that hue or tone of skin. Am I making sense? Can somebody put some blue hearts in the chat if that is resonating or making sense or connecting the dots for you? Maybe in a way that you haven't entertained before. Okay, so while I'm waiting for the hearts, it's only 2 people here. So, okay, thank you, In Truth Seeker. And I'm not sure who else is here, but who else is here, welcome. And I hope that you drop some hearts in the chat as well. But if not, it's okay because everybody is not there. So I understand that too. And I honor everyone's point in their journey that they are on. Okay. So when we begin to realize that that's a psyop, the first black this or the first black that, or when people go off and feel like they have to have a black grocery store association, or they need to have a black restaurant association, or they need to have a black roller skater club, or a black this or a black that. So, you know, you're constantly singling and ciphering yourself off from the collective, from being the equal that you fight so hard to say that you want to be. If you fight so hard to say you want to be equal, then you can't be equal and separated at the same time. Hello, somebody. You can't be equal and separated at the same time. Do you see any other group that is constantly ciphering themselves off into, you know, the Asian pickleball community, the Asian doggy run community? No, but you got every facet of black this and black that there is to create. So you're constantly putting yourself separate from the collective, separate from the mainstream energy, and putting yourself on a lower vibrational energy every single time that you feel that you need to have a black this, because you know what that is saying? That's saying that we're still not accepted. So we still got to go off and do our own little thing in our own little club because we're not deemed or perceived. And we got to prove, or we got to do our, no. Sit at the table with everyone else. That is how you elevate your vibrational frequency. Sit at the table with everyone else. And if you do find yourself in a setting where it's mostly melanated people, okay, so I hope you understand that I've now shifted to the melanated people because they have a different mindset. See, melanated people can operate in any circle and realize that they are not identified or not defined by their skin. And they feel perfectly comfortable with whatever circle that they are in because they're not putting themselves in a box confined by the label that is assigned to that box, meaning black. Okay, so the black experience is an experience that is created to be confined to the label of black that's slapped on a box that is very small. Look, think about it. When the Biden and the Trump during that presidential election, how did they refer to as the black job? Who was taking the black jobs? The immigrants. Well, what type of jobs are those? Ladies and gentlemen, what were they referring to as, quote, black, end quote, jobs? Everything that is connected with, quote, black, end quote, is of a low vibrational frequency that they want you to constantly live on. Because then you are not a threat to the establishment as long as you are living on this lower vibrational frequency under the label that's called, quote, end quote, black, because there is no such thing. You have never seen a medical society or a medical personnel or a scientist or a spiritual guru, enlightened person ever refer to anything of a human being as being black. It is not supported in any of the 3 main disciplines of society, of the world: medical, scientific, or spiritual, because it does not exist. It's a falsity. It's factitious. It does not exist. It is a man-made construct that is designed for everyone to live under in one way or another. So the, quote, black, end quote, experience is never going to be anything that is of abundance, is of richness, because it's not designed that way. The energetic frequency is not infused in, quote, the Black ink quote experience, which is why I unassigned myself from that many moons ago. And I started tapping into the Tesra experience. And here's the thing. Let me tell you something about the quote Black ink quote experience. Let me tell you something. I interview for a living, right? I interview people for a living. And up until these last 2 interviews, and I was very relieved because these 2 last candidates that I interviewed, they were on an elevated level. And I could tell that they were more professional than any other people that I have been interviewing. But all of the people preceding these 2 people, what did they feel comfortable in telling me? They felt comfortable in telling me their quote Black ink quote experience. Why? Because they looked at me and thought that I was going to relate to them. And that's the other thing that we have to stop doing, people. It's just because you see somebody who may share the same kinky hair texture as yours, even though it may be hidden under a wig. We're going to get to that some time from now, because it's time for us to stop hiding our naturalness under a synthetic European texture and length wig. They got texture wigs out there. If for some reason you have to have a wig, or you know, whatever the case is, you don't have to have the 20-inch European straight wig on. Let me not go get off track, y'all, because I'm about to get off on. Thank you, Scorpio Mama. Yes. Oh, there you go. Thank you. Welcome. And can you tell me what Chatham means? If you could just tell me what that means, because I'm not sure. Because I know I've seen you do this quite a few times. But yes, okay. So I'm not going to get off track, though. I'm not going to get off track, y'all, because that's a whole show in and of itself. Okay. Because even when jobs want you to introduce yourself, I keep it simple, because my personal life is my business. Yeah, you ain't gotta go through all of that. You know, I don't know what I said to spark this, but that is true. That is very true. Oh, because of my interviews. Okay, so let me tell you. Thank you. Thank you. So because they saw me and they thought, whew, okay, great. Now I can let down my guard. No, you can't. Why you feel like you can let down your guard? Because you see a melanated woman standing before you, or sitting before you, or on a virtual screen before you. You cannot let down your guard, my beloved. We're talking about a professional setting where you were trying to get a job to help support your livelihood. So why would you feel like you can let down your guard? Absolutely not. So let me tell you about my experience. No, you spelled it. No, you spelled Chatham. I just want to know what Chatham means. Oh, did you mean something else then? Because you've been here before, Scorpio Mama. You've been here before. I remember you. And I'm glad to see you back. But anyway, so my experience was, when we talk about past history and past employment. So for whatever reason that played into their departure from that employer, can y'all take a wild guess? I am doing queen. I'm doing queen. I am good, Mama. How you been? How are you, my beautiful goddess? How are you? Can y'all drop in the chat of what you think came up in the conversation when they were talking about their previous employers? I'm gonna wait. Y'all want me to play some music while I wait? Okay, I'm gonna play some music while I wait, just in case y'all thinking about it. What I typically play? I don't even know. What I play? Yeah. I'm feeling in 1,000 masks I had to do with. I had 1,000 masks I had to do with. What's mask? Yeah. Let me stop the music. That's not the right one. I don't like that. Oh, Jay Charles in the building. Hold on, y'all. My peeps in the building. Hold on a second. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Here we go. Welcome, Jay Charles. Glad to see you. What did y'all think that they mentioned when they talked about their previous employers because they see me and they feel like they have their freedom to now discuss this thing that has been on their hearts that they just could not discuss with anyone else because no one else would be able to relate or to understand. The blacks. What am I saying? What's the blacks? What's the blacks? But yeah, whoever they are a mess though. Oh, are you quilting? You said quilling. Are you quilting, Scorpio Mama? Yes. Yes, exactly it. Because I'm a black. Is that what you call it now? So we're not doing quote black in quote. We're doing the black. Talk about how nasty the place was. Not quite in Truth Seeker 11. What they wanted to know was that they experienced some racism. I felt that they were being racist. There was some sort of racism. Why? Okay, so now you want to run to me because you claimed that you were an experiencer of racism. Now I'm supposed to just give you a job? If you don't get off my screen, you little messy black, if you don't get off my screen right now, don't think because you see my skin tone and you're like, whoo, I can relax all of my professionalism. I don't have to bring my complete and total potential to this job. I don't have to level up my skill because she got kinky hair like me. Yeah, in Truth Seeker. Yes, in Truth Seeker 11, that's what they were doing. Interviewee after interviewee after interviewing. This blackity black. The blackity black black blacks. Yes. And see, this is the programming. This is the quote black end quote experience. When people feel like the only reason why that unless their employer was a quote black end quote person, then they can't claim that, right? But if it was anybody else, then what they feel like is that because they were fired or whatever, it has something to do with racism. No, how come maybe you were just a waste of their labor dollars? Could it not be that? How about maybe you did not respect the work environment or its professionalism that was required? How about maybe you didn't meet the standard? Could it be that? Or how about if they just needed to be cut and they were keeping the strongest people on the team? Could it be that? Jay Charles said, certain things I won't even talk about. Oh, wait, hold on. These back about, yeah, right. Yeah, certain things. Yes. And so why would they feel comfortable in speaking about that with me as an interviewer? Because they want to share their quote black end quote experience. Did you hear what I just said? It's because they want to share their quote black end quote experience with another quote black end quote person, or the blackity black black black, the blacks. Jay Charles said, I 100% agree because we are quote black. I'm supposed to lower my standards. Why? Because they feel inferior. And I speak about professionalism at work and have to remind people about yes to both of y'all. Because when you go into another environment that you may not see as many people who share your same skin tone or your hair texture or whatever, why do you feel inferior? If so, why? Why? You can't feel inferior because of your skin tone, because why? I've already said it. Your skin tone has nothing to do with anything. Your skin tone is just the largest organ of your body. Your skin tone has as much to do with it as your kidneys or your liver does. I said it. Your skin tone has as much to do with it as your kidneys or your liver does. Your skin tone has nothing to do with your life. What has something to do with your life is the mindset that was programmed and molded for you and implanted like a virus in you to believe about your skin tone, whether it's of the quote white or quote black. It does not matter. I'll get to the quote white in a minute for my non-melanated brothers and sisters, because you're not alienated. I'm not mad at you for nothing. Why? I have the same exact potential as you. You are no better than me, and I'm no better than you. Because as human beings, we all entered this earth on equal footing. We all entered this earth with the same amount of unlimited potential. And then the story just takes place according to what our environment dictates after we incarnated here. I got some people in the comments. Okay, what is it like to be a grown man or a woman and feel like there is some white man that is superior to you? I just don't understand what that feels like as an American. That's right, Jay. That's right. And I'm happy that you don't know what that feels like. And I hope that people begin to live on a different frequency and an elevated frequency, that they forget to feel what it feels like to be inferior because you are in the presence of a quote white end quote person, male or female or otherwise. Ain't no white, green, or purple man stopping me from anything that I want. And that's why you are a moderator. In my own world, and I live in my own world, and I'm my own boss, and that is why you are a moderator. My MCs, listen, I don't care if I just have 4 people, but if I got 4 liberated, empowered people who take back their minds, who control, that's all I need. But I know it's more of us out there, and I know that it's more of us that are waking up, and you're going to need a place to be supported, a place to be understood, a place to be cheered on, a place to be championed, a place to be empowered. And that's what the mental chiropractor is here. That's why this community is here. Now, my white neighbors definitely ain't stopping me from anything. They may be raising my property value, but they're not holding me down. Right? So listen, whatever can serve you and enrich your life, take it. Right? Take it and use it. Don't let these labels, deter you from having your life enriched and bundly as it possibly can be. Yes, absolutely. Listen, if I go somewhere, like say for instance, I'm on a plane, right? And there's a quote black end quote flight attendant, and they see me on the plane, and they're like, "Oh, you know what, my brother, my sister, I'm gonna put you up into first class." Because you probably never ridden first class before. So I want to do that for you, my sister. You think I'm going to stop and say, no, don't put me in no first class because you're referring to me as sister. And I'm going to take it. Whatever is going to help me enrich my life, as long as I know who I am. I don't care what you think I am. If it's going to benefit me, then I'm not going to be dumb. Yes, I'm going to take advantage of that. Of course, thank you. Now, if we were to have a conversation, you may regret it later, because you understand that I don't subscribe to that. That ain't my problem. Not my problem. Not my fault. Yes. Blue hearts. Yes. Depending on the situation. Where was I going? Okay. So I want to, right. So I want to go to this Instagram post because this person is speaking exactly what I'm speaking to. So listen, when people do something and when there's an outlier, when there's an individual who is an outlier to an industry or to a certain status, or they claimed a certain award or something like that, and this person is typically not represented for the group of people to receive this status award or enter into this industry or whatever. You know what I'm going with this? Okay. So they didn't have a first. They didn't have somebody who looked like them to show them that they can do it. Y'all, I need us to understand this. So I'm going to slow this down a little bit because I know I talk fast, because I be getting hyped, y'all. I be getting hyped. I be getting excited. Jay Charles said these blacks be tripping. Victims gone, victim though. And then because you black, they supposed to get some ghetto behavior passes. LOL, what a mess. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And yes, sir. Yeah, ain't no ghetto behavior passes over here. And the funny thing about it is my energy, I have honed my energy so much to the fact that all I do, people can look at me and tell me I'm not about that life. Sorry. They can look at me and say that, oh, she ain't about that life. I am not. You are going to, I'm not saying that your behavior has to mimic mine, but you're going to come correct. You're not going to come with any destructive type of energy or behavior that is going to take the situation or the environment down. Because you know why? When you're on a certain frequency, and this is why I don't experience racism, because when you are on a certain frequency, there are certain things that cannot exist in your presence. I'm going to say that once again for the people in the back and the people who were asleep. When you are on a certain frequency, there are certain things that just cannot exist in your presence. Looks like me. Oh, Jay Charles, I can't stand that. When I tell you I cannot stand that, I can't stand that almost as much as I can't stand African American. Looks like me. First of all, I may be cuter than you, so don't be trying to benefit and gain off of the cute. I may be cuter. I don't look like you. I do not look like you. Frequencies align always. Yes, indeed. Yeah, people who look like me. It's like, yeah, just because we have the same skin tone does not mean that we look alike. Okay. So let's just tone that down. Let's just tone that down. But let me, I wanted to say something, but anyway, I'm going to give you a really quick example. Some things won't go down in my presence. I said, I guess I look too serious. Yeah. 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 But you know what? It's not that you look too serious, because you know what precedes you? What precedes you is your aura. People pick up on your vibe and your aura before they even, have an interaction with you. They already know. And whether they realize it or not, they already know. So it's not that you're too serious. You vibrate, you operate on a different frequency. And let me tell you a little quick story about y'all. What time is it? Y'all, I be like, I don't know. I think after I'm looking at other people's lives, like Messy Michonne. Do y'all know Messy Michonne? Y'all gotta go and check her out. She's infectious. She's infectious. Like, go check out her channel. But anyway, like Messy Michonne, or like my brother Jay Witt, or like Zach Costello. I think he's about an hour and a half, 2 hours. But what I'm saying is that all these people, they be doing like 3-hour lives, and I'm like, oh, is mine too short? Because y'all know I be in and out in about an hour and a half. I'm like, okay, listen, that's enough. If we ain't get the point across now, then I guess we just not gonna go. But I guess sometimes you just need time to munch on things, right? I guess sometimes you just need time to massage through things and see what comes up, and and continue the conversation. Messy Michonne, I'm gonna put her her handle in here. She is at Messy Michonne. Yeah, I love me some Jay Witt too. He You Bear. Oh, I don't know that. Put their link in the chat, You Bear, so we can check them out. Okay. You know what, Jay Charles, I was kind of feeling that, but you know what? I'm gonna cut it short tonight too. But I'm gonna do better after this. I'm gonna do better after this. But yeah, yeah, I was beginning to feel that um that I'm cutting my lives too short, and that's also maybe the reason why I also don't grow my audience as big as it could be, because I don't give enough time for people to realize that we're on. And so therefore, by the time they come through, shit, shop is closed up, lights are off, doors are locked, blinds are down, and we're out. You know what I mean? So I think I may have to increase my stamina on YouTube. Let me see. Oh, oh, thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, okay. So I'm gonna tell y'all this story, right? When I talk about how when you're on a certain vibration, and you know what, and people who are not yet on that vibration, because let me tell you something, all of these frequencies are available to everybody. All right, there is no discrimination, there is no click, there is no classism, there is none of that. All of these frequencies are available to everybody. Okay, no matter what the news tells you, no matter what the school tells you, no matter what the church tells you, no matter what your income tax is telling you, all these frequencies are available to everybody, no matter what. Everyone is on some frequency. Yes, everybody is on a vibrational frequency. And if you don't become aware of what vibrational frequency that you're on, then you're just going to think, oh, this is just happening to me because I'm blackity black, black, black. Or, oh, I had this wonderful life because I'm whitey white, white, white. No, there is a default frequency that everybody is vibrating on, right? And even the person who is, my non-melanated brothers and sisters, because your mental programming, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me write something down so I won't forget. Tell the officer story. All right, I wrote that down so I won't forget, because I'm about to digress for a second. Even for, let me start here. All of us, I don't care what melanin level that you have in your skin or the lack thereof, as human beings, we all have and experience the same challenges. We all have challenges in our family. Some of us, a lot of us were brought up in broken homes, and it's not just reserved for the black community. It's not, because what is coming forth now, see, in the age of Aquarius, the truth is now coming to the light. And what I am learning, and I think the universe is doing this on purpose, what I am learning, just like I was listening to Greg Braden last night, and he was talking about his childhood, and he's a non-melanated brother, and he was talking about his childhood. And what he said was, yeah, when my father left us when I was 11 years old, I had to go out and get a job at 16, because my mother, she had to go out because she was a stay-at-home mom. And when our dad left, she had to go out and now become the breadwinner, and she wasn't making enough money. So I had to go out and get a job at 16 in order to support the household. Do you know how many non-melanated people share that same exact story? See, what the mainstream media, what lamestream media, what corporate media will have us to believe is that narrative, that scenario, that situation is reserved for only one group of people. That's what they had us to believe. But it was more non-melanated people that are having those experiences than what we realize. You got Tony Robbins. Look at his story. Marilyn Monroe. Look at her story. Anna Nicole Smith. Look at her story. There are so many people. I watch Real Housewives. Everybody. Most of their stories, my non-melanated sisters on that store, on those reality shows, all of them had very rough upbringings. And the only ones who may not is the Hiltons. That's Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the Hilton family, although they still had their drama, but they didn't have anything about as far as scarcity or anything like that, because they married into the Hiltons, But but a lot of people grew up with alcoholic parents, experienced abuse, experienced molestation, and they're non-melanated, our non-melanated brothers and sisters. And here's the sad thing about it. Their stories were unheard of. They had to carry that as a silent pain because they felt like, oh, well, I can't say this because, I'm I'm quote white, end quote. And so I'm not supposed to, that disrupts the narrative. So I can't share my struggles because nobody wants to listen to that because I'm white. And therefore, I have the white house, the house with the white picket fence and, the 2-car garage and the 2.5 children and the dog. And if my story doesn't match that, then nobody wants to listen to me. So therefore, I got to suffer in silence. How sad is that? How sad is that? Can you imagine just having to carry this pain around and just carry this mask around and not feeling like you have anyone that you can actually share your real lived experience with? Hold on. I do. I watch the Real Housewives. That's my guilty pleasure. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you. You want to know a secret? Do you want to know why I really kind of watch it? Even though the tea is, it's interesting, but it's the same script. It's the same formula. So I'm hugely aware of that. You know what I like? I like seeing them live in their abundance. I enjoy that frequency, and I strive to tap into that frequency. I'm not materialistic, not at all, but I like the frequency of seeing them go and enjoy, travel wherever they want to travel, purchase wherever they want to purchase, get the house of their dreams. That's what I like mostly about the Real Housewives franchise. But I watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, who they just started their new season with Portia and Phaedra, although I'm not as mad as Phaedra as I used to be. But okay, I digress. I need my Real Housewives people. Where y'all at? I do have a channel too, by the way. I do have a Bravo holic channel. But anyway, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of Potomac, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of OC. I think and Married to Medicine, Atlanta. Those are my 5 guilty pleasures. Yeah. Because I guess you don't watch it, but when you watch them, they live in there, and some of the abundance is fake, just like the Real Housewives of Potomac, Wendy and her husband Eddie. Okay, so some of them go too far to try to give the optics of abundance. So I see where you're going with that, Jay Charles. Some of them try to give the optics of abundance and then land themselves in legal hot water, but otherwise, it is. It is ratchet, but that's about as ratchet as I'm going to get, because ratchet is like Basketball Wives and Wags and all that was a little bit too ratchet for me. I stopped at the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I do. Let me see. Let me go back up. Hold on. I enjoy and appreciate you. Thank you, In True Secret 11. The feeling is completely mutual. No matter what, everybody is on some vibe. Yep. I told my grandma today how much I appreciated my upbringing and how I really enjoyed my life. And I enjoy. Oh, wow. That is so special that you actually was able to tell her to her face while has breath in her lungs. That is so special. She gave us a really good life. And I thank God for love and knowing love and being able to give love. Let me tell you something, In True Secret 11. I hope you're still here because you are very fortunate. Because I just had a conversation. Actually, it wasn't a conversation. It was more like with my mom about that, because I wasn't as fortunate enough to experience that from my mother directly, but I was able to experience it from my God family that stepped in to help her with me. So I did get a taste of it. Not a taste, more than a taste. I do know what that is, but I didn't have a direct experience of it in my own household. So the fact that you had that, that's priceless. That is priceless. Let me see what else. But child, we need hold on, J. Charles. Wait. I am with you in abundance frequency. Really, I respect that for sure. Yeah, but you said, but child, hold on. Let me get to the but child, we need to get you some get some reviews from you. What kind of reviews? Oh, for y'all who just came in, if you would please go ahead and smash that like button on your way in or on your way out. And if this content, this type of content resonates with you, please subscribe, because I'm actually 9 people. Well, shit, I don't know. I may be less because I haven't checked my subs lately, so I don't know what number I'm at. But I did at first. I had reached my 500 threshold, but then because they weren't true subs, I guess some people was seeing what I was about, and they were like, "Oh, I ain't there. She don't subscribe to Blackity Black 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 the Blacks. Oh no, unsubscribe. Fine with me. Actually, I'm grateful because I really want true subs. Okay. I really want true subs. So at the last I checked, because somebody check how many subs we got now. Jay Charles is Jay Charles is in the building. My brother is in the building. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me go. Some love. What's up, Jay Charles? Jay Charles. Wait, Jay Witt, right? Is Jay Witt here? Oh, I think that was Jay. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I thought my brother Jay Witt was here, but that was my eyes was reading something. My eyes was saying one thing and my brain was calculating something different. At Truth Seeker 11. Thanks for sharing. I hope your weekend is going amazingly. Yes. And At Truth Seeker said, Real Housewife. Oh, yeah. Okay, you got to come over to my other channel. Okay, you got to come over to my other channel for Bravaholics. I haven't done anything over there yet, but yes, I never watched, but you got me interested in that. Doing too much story with Wendy and Jay Charles. And they got 3 children, and they're probably going to be doing prison time. Yep. Let me see. Ed J. Charles. Hold on, y'all. Wait, stop. Give me to the okay. All right. Ed J. Charles, thank you. Hope yours is amazing. I love when the MCs, build rapport and connection with one another. Blacks are allergic to truth seekers. Yep. They definitely are. That's why they be like, unsubscribe. And I can tell you, it's a breath of fresh air. It really is. Because I really don't want anybody on my channel that does not feel comfortable or does not feel comfortable with being stretched, with their consciousness being stretched. But I do want people who are comfortable with being uncomfortable, because they do want to have a different lived inner world experience, right? Because you can go out here in this world and you can have all the things and drive all the nice fancy cars and be able to do this and do that and have the fancy work title or whatever. But if your inner world is still vexed, if your inner world is still at an unrest, then you are missing the whole purpose of this life. And if you want to reconnect, if you want to have that fulfillment, if you want to have that inner joy, that inner peace, no matter what's going on around you, if you want to be able to understand that you are not defined by your skin, if you want to understand that you are not your emotions, if you want to begin to understand how to be the observer of everything that's around you, and then therefore you are in a state, in a position that you can control your emotions and therefore control your thoughts, your actions, your words, that completely changes and transforms your lived experience, then this is the place for you. Girl, you could still be excited for me and True Secret 11. Damn. Yeah, no, I am. I am completely excited for y'all. Why wouldn't I be? We not Jay Wood, of course. But gave you okay, Jay Charles. See, you trying to be messy. I gave you your applause, and I gave True Secret 11 their applause too. Because I don't know if they're male or female, but 3, yeah. I will. True Secret, I love seeing you in all the lives I have been in. I appreciate your contributions. Much love. Yes. And I know Kimiko is going to wish that she was here And can we go and tell you right now, we miss you, but I know that you are going to catch this and then you're going to send me a message and say, dang, I wish I was there. Or, I caught the live later, but yeah, yep. J Trust, I come to support. Yep, I love y'all. Time out. We got to get this message from such a beautiful and truth seeking soul. Okay, and truth seeker, you're a woman. Okay, all right. So it's my fellow enlightened sister on her journey. Oh, y'all, I just love it. You don't understand how much life this gives me to connect with people, with like-minded people, with kindred souls. Like for real. And, even though we don't see, this is the beautiful thing about the universe. And this is how infinite the universe is, right? Because even though we don't see each other physically, but we decided to connect to one another once we got here in the physical realm at this particular time, at this specified time, right? This is not all by happenstance. It's not. We attracted one another. We are magnetized to one another because why? Because we share the same vibrational frequency. Hello, somebody. Hello. Okay. So y'all ready to, all right. So did I finish what I was going to say? All right. So I'm going to tell the officer story now. Okay. Y'all ready? All right. So this is how you know when you're on a different frequency because certain things just can't live or exist in your presence because you don't allow it. Right? Because you don't allow it. Me and my husband, Jay Charles, was you here when I told you about this? You were here. The officer story. Do you remember? Because you're about to hear it again. Just letting you know. That's what I'm asking. Okay, while I'm waiting for him to respond. In True Secret 11, I'm not sure if you were here. Oh, or was it you? One of y'all was here when I shared this story. Okay. I think it was in True Secret 11 that was here. All right. So Jay Charles said, tell me. Okay, here we go. All right. So when I was doing oh, what is that good for? It sounds bitter. Is that bitter? Okay, I'm gonna tell you the story right now. In True Secret 11, is that Lyre Leaf Sage? I know it's good for something. Oh, it's the weeds. Yup, that is beautiful. Oh, so you know what that is? J. Charles, you know what that is that she's eating? Yeah, sage. Yeah, I'm gonna do a parasite cleanse shortly. Yep, I'm gonna do a parasite cleanse. You know what? Y'all should really join the Ascension community that I belong to. We meet on Telegram. But anyway, okay, so I'm gonna tell you the story, okay? So I was doing workshops, which is the reason why I had to step away from YouTube for a little while. Okay. The tip is sweet and the flower is bitter. Got you. So I had to step away from YouTube for a little bit because I was preparing for my workshops that I am to conduct in upstate New York, which I did. And so I had recently found out just before then that my license was suspended because I had a court date for a parking ticket that I didn't attend. And so the letter said that it was going to be turned in. Where is the letter at? Hold on, let me see if I can find a letter. Notice of order suspending driver's license. Okay. So they had suspended my license right before we were to go upstate and we were driving upstate. Okay. So then we were renting a car because it was just more efficient than driving an electric vehicle. Y'all, if you have an EV, if you're thinking about getting an EV, I'm not going to tell you not to get it, but it's not a road trip car. Just so you know, that's not a road trip car. Unless you have the adapter for the Tesla charging station, then you have way more stations available and options to you. But otherwise, that's not a road trip car. So I didn't want to take the EV because It's not a road trip car. And we had a 6-hour drive. So that 6-hour drive with the EV would turn into like maybe close to 8. And so we rented a car. Now, so we rented a car. We were leaving on Monday at 8 a.m. I bolted straight up out of bed at 3 a.m. and I was like, oh shit, my license is suspended. So I may not be able to rent this car if they run my license. So then I had to go to the contingency plan, right? So I had the contingency backup plan. All right. So when I I was supposed to pick up the car around 6. I said, let me go pick up the car earlier just to see if I'm going to have an issue. Oh, this is Sunday. I'm sorry. I was to pick up the car on Sunday. So I bolted up out of my sleep on Sunday morning around 3 o'clock or something like that. So then I went early to get the car just to see if there's going to be any issues. So we know how to maneuver. If so, we know what to go to plan B, the contingency plan. So I went and I picked up the car and I'm sweating bullets on the inside. But my driver's license in this little machine. I was like, oh, I'm cooked. That's it. He about to say, ma'am, your license is suspended. We can't rent you this car. Shit. So he put my card in the machine and I'm waiting anxiously on the inside, but I'm just waiting patiently on the outside. And then he took my car out and he finished doing the paperwork and gave me my license. So I was like, oh, well, maybe the suspension has not made it onto my driver's record yet. All right. So I was free and clear. I didn't think anything else about it. Now, my husband's license is also suspended for other reasons. And nothing crime written, just, child support shit. So his license was suspended. So now we're on the road with 2 drivers with suspended licenses, right? But we didn't think anything about it. Now, this was a pretty lucrative gig for me to conduct these 2 workshops. And it was also a great start for me to start doing this around the state of New York because I'm pivoting from how I typically for my current business model. So this is a great opportunity for me to start pivoting into the new business model that I want to start operating from. Okay. So it's lucrative. It's a great opportunity for me to start presenting or branding myself in a different way. Okay. All right. Now the workshop was to start at 4:30. We were due to get into Buffalo at about 2:30. And the place is like 30 minutes away. So that time frame is really short because I had to also get dressed and leave by 3:30 to get to the place about 4:15. About 4, right? Because the workshop starts at 4:30. Cool. So we're driving without incident. And then we're going through now the little towns that are leading up to the place where I was to present the workshop, the first one in Buffalo. So we're going through the little towns. And then, y'all, we are to arrive at like 2:22. Around 2:12, we are coming down and then we pass a police officer going the opposite direction. And then that police officer takes a U-turn and comes back and drives up behind us. So my husband is like, oh shit, like we're being pulled over. I'm like, we're being pulled over for what? So the officer, we pulled over. The officer gets out his car and into Secret 11, just bear with me because I know you've already heard this, but gets out his car and then he stops like, at the very end of the driver's side window because for precautionary and safety reasons, like, of course, right? So then he's very stern, very professional, license and registrations, please. Some police officers are like, hey, how you doing? License and registration. Not this one. He was like, license and registration, please. Now we're in a rental car. And so then I went to go get the license, the registration. And then my husband obviously has the license. And so he says, can I ask the reason why I'm being pulled over? And the officer said, you were going 62 and a 45. And so my husband started to, like, no, that's impossible. Like, I'm just following traffic. And, and the officer wasn't trying to hear that. And so, I gave him the registration or whatever the rental car had, that paperwork, because he was asking, is this a rental car? I'm like, yeah, it is, because we're on our way I'm doing workshops. I'm speaking. So I'm doing workshops and we're like 15, 20 minutes away. And so he seemingly was like not trying to hear any of that. He didn't get two shits. So, okay, fine. So then he asks my husband, do you have any issues with your license? Now, I don't know. Y'all may be able to tell me, maybe y'all haven't been pulled over lately. Kudos to you if you haven't. But I don't remember them asking before if you have any issues with your license. I just thought they took your license and then took it to the car and ran it. But this particular officer said, do you have any issues with your license? And so my husband was like, yeah, it's expired or whatever. Okay. And so then the officer asked me if I had any issues with my license. I was like, no, I'm free and clear, right? Because I got the rental car. I'm like, because I know that the rental car will run your license to make sure that you're not, driving on a suspended license. So when I got the free and clear, I was like, no, my license is cool. So he said, well, can I see yours? I was like, yeah, but it's in the back. So can you meet me in the back and I can show you my license? So he met me in the back. And he saw that, we had our luggage and everything. So obviously we weren't lying about that. That was not fabricated. We really were traveling on a road trip to, what I said we were doing, which is the workshops. Okay. Now it is 2:12. It's 2:14, right? Okay. So then I give him my license and I said, yeah, I said, just so you know, I said, I know it's not going to make an impact on what the process has to be, but I do have a speaking gig that, I have 20 minutes to get there and it starts very shortly. So then I gave him my license and he said, oh, is that why your husband was speeding? And I was like, he tried to catch me. I was like, well, I didn't know that he was speeding. I can't speak to that. But, this is the reason why, I'm in a time crunch right now. So he takes my license. He takes my husband's license. I get back into the passenger seat and then he goes and runs our driver's license. Right. Okay. So now, me, and this is how when you marry a person, this is how the person that is when y'all are on the same frequency, because me and my husband, we very much share the same frequency in ways that do not serve us as well, like our money story, but we are both working on that assiduously. But anyway, so we are both sitting now. He's in the driver's seat, I'm in the passenger seat. We're not saying anything to one another, right? So my husband, he starts to run the narrative, the frequency of that's some bullshit. I wasn't going 62 miles per hour. I was, and then he had to stop himself and realize, what frequency am I on right now? Because whatever frequency this is, I'm going to attract a lived experience to make it so. Because remember, I always tell y'all, the universe does not make us a liar. So whatever frequency that we're on, there has to be a lived matching experience to make it true. Okay. So this is why you have to be careful of your thoughts and clear, cancel, and erase those thoughts, or clear, cancel, and replace those thoughts. Rather, when you are thinking a thought that doesn't serve you, you clear, cancel, and replace that thought. Okay. So it does not land and manifest. Okay. So now then he said to himself, okay, wait, I just got to shift. So I am grateful that we are driving to the hotel. 2 adults, 2 drivers, 2 suspended licenses in a rental car, 6 hours away from home. I am thankful that we are driving to the hotel. Now, meanwhile, I am emailing my host to let her know, listen, we just got pulled over. So I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I may be a little late. She said, oh no, you'll be fine. Okay. So I didn't read that until much later, her response, right? So then he starts shifting his narrative. He starts shifting his mental chatter. And then I am running mantras, right? I'm running my mantra, and I'm also on the frequency of I'm grateful that this is all turning out in my favor, right? Now, but both of us had the same thought. If we saw a second cruiser follow behind the cruiser that's behind us, yeah, no bueno. The officer comes back, and he's a little lighter. And he says, well, actually, there's issues with both of your licenses. He said, ma'am, your license is suspended for a court failure. And he said, yours is suspended for whatever I forgot the reason why he cited. Okay. So he said, actually, both of your licenses have issues with it. Okay. So then now he says, I know that you are 5 hours away. He said, I could take your vehicle and have it, towed away. And then y'all would, could go to jail because we're driving with suspended licenses. He said, but I am going to get in my car and I'm going to drive the opposite way. No, he said this. He said, you are going to drive into this church parking lot right here. He showed us where it was. You're going to pull into that church parking lot. I am going to get in my car and I'm going to drive in the opposite direction. And then you are going to figure out how you're going to handle the situation. It's about 2:30 at this point. I am getting in my car and I'm driving away. And y'all figure it out. Okay. So needless to say, I told my husband, I said, well, let me drive. Because if we were to get pulled over again, I think I have the lesser severity of suspensions than you do. But it may have made a difference. I don't, it may not have made a difference, but I just wanted to be, on the cautionary side. Long story short, I made it to the workshop. And while I was waiting, I was like, oh my God, what if I lose this income that we could really use right now? Long story short, everything worked out in our favor. Now, do you think that that's just happenstance? Do you think that if I had got pissed off because I'm blackity black, 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 and the officer, mind you, was non-melanated. He was, quote, white, end quote, officer. And we're sitting over here. Now, if we were sitting in our blackity black, black, black narrative, do you think that would have turned out the same way? If we would have gotten all, stink face and stink energy and, oh, here we go again, driving while black, a cop pull us over just because we're blackity black, black, black. Do you think that the result would have been the same? It would not have been, because he was already on the cautionary, stoic, I'm the police officer trip. He was already there, but we had to take that energy and begin to transmute it into something else that was more serving of us. All right. So this is what I mean by there are certain things, because even if this officer was trying to be racist, that could not live in the presence of us, because we don't vibrate on that frequency. We do not vibrate on the racist frequency. We just don't. That is not allowed in my world. It isn't. I'm not being braggadocious. I don't care if anybody thinks that I am. I'm not being braggadocious. What I'm talking about is your energetic frequency. Everything is about energy. And it even permeates out to the collective. The collective energy, we will have a matching experience that resonates with that collective energy. And there may be a sacrificial lamb in the wake of that, if you know what I mean. And they will use somebody to be the sacrificial lamb so that the collective energy can stay low vibrational right where it is. If somebody knows what I'm putting down, you're picking up what I'm putting down. I will get more into it later, but I'm going to say the name George Floyd. And if that is a trigger for somebody, then I invite you to go into that trigger, to investigate, do an inquiry into that trigger. Okay. But that situation, and I told my husband, I said, I think that situation happened just for this reason. So that we can use this as a testament to say, it's not that, you're driving around blackity black, black, while being blackity black, 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 like, driving around black. Nope. Whatever energy that you are carrying, that you are existing on, your life is going to mirror that energy. All right. So that's my story. That is my story. Let me go back, because y'all had the chats blowing up. Let me see. Okay, y'all talking about came to support. Talking about, okay, got that. I'm over here. Okay, got that. I remember. Okay, yep. Who Sage? Okay. Yep. Interesting. I am not even more of a fan. Okay, great. J. Charles. What kind of workshop? I have 2 Teslas and I have no problem traveling around the country every week. Yeah, that's because there's Tesla charging stations everywhere. Y'all charging stations are like gas stations. Everybody else, we just got one every 10 miles or something. And then we get there, it may not even work. But I got a Tesla adapter now, so Let me see. I'm still here. I'm helping my daughter with her homework. Oh, okay. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, wait. Oh, the Crawford. Hold on, y'all. The Crawford is here. The Crawford experience. Hold on, hold on. Oh, here we go. My peeps are rolling on in. CJ Charles, you see that? Everybody gets an applause today. Um, okay, you about to tell me why you say watch out because we were wondering about that. Okay. So oh, okay. At Chat Lives Matter is in the building. Hold on. Hold on. My people done wrote up. Maybe it's a good thing I didn't shut it down, right? Because y'all know I was about to be up out of here. But I'm glad I stayed around. Okay, so let me see something. Like and subscribe. Yes, thank you. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. Yes. Let me see. Dan, that response to why y'all were speeding was amazing. Damn. Yep. Let me see. Did I miss something before that? You did not. Okay, wait, hold on. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get to your comments. To the latest ones. Mm-hmm. Oh, and also let me put this on the screen. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm scratching my. It was itching. I'm sorry, y'all. Here, let me put it on the screen too. Okay. 2 drivers with suspended licenses, and you can't get more. Word, for real. You got that. He did not get y'all because y'all black. I hope no. No. Never I heard that before. Oh, I'm not sure what that was about in True Seeker. Like and subscribe. Thank you. Damn, that response to why y'all were speeding was amazing. New York State is a very strict with speeding. In 2005, I got a ticket for speeding, 36 and a 25. Yup, I got in that one too. But I beat that ticket. Okay. Chat Lives Matter is here. Dang, this story is hella black. Right, but I'm about to fix my license, y'all. I'm not about to be blackity black no more. I'm about to fix my license. 2 adults, 2 suspended license, away from home. Don't hate me, but that is so black. LOL. Now those mantras, that's real shit. Yeah, yep. Why were your licenses both suspended? Actually, don't answer that. Let's go. Let's be blackity black and blame it on and blame it on YT. What's YT? Is that Young Thug? What's YT? Okay. It worked out because you were humans manifesting what you want. That is power. Yes, and yes. That is power. Maybe not. Okay, dear Charles, you gonna stop. You are over here clowning. Maybe not black power. We're gonna talk about black power too. We're gonna talk about black power. But who wants that mess? We talk about real power. Power that serves you. Yes, preach. Absolutely. I'm happy that you and your husband was okay. Thank you, Crawford Experience. Yes. Oh, y'all on the vertical side. What? Chat Lives Matter in the house. Yes. What's the vertical side? Chat Lives Matter. Well, y'all on the vertical side. I don't get that. That's why I didn't like one out if my energy is off because I want to make sure I'm giving off good energy. Yep. Peace at the yep. All right, my people in the building. But okay. Chat Lives Matter. Listen. I already told y'all what happened. I told y'all this is why my vision hasn't gotten any worse because I'm the squint master. I had to come in the middle. I had to come to the mobile live stream. This is where all y'all are. Oh, and you was late, color people. I wasn't late. Oh, no, I actually made it to my thing on time. Let me tell you something. I don't do that. I am punctual. We actually made it there at like 4:00 or 5 minutes to. Oh, they do? They call them white people? White tea? But that y'all know. Oh my God. Yeah, okay. Y'all know that I'm a little master squinter. Yup, that's me. Chat live's cutting up in here. Yes, already. Just got here and he cutting up. Okay. So that's what that is. All right. So now let's go over, and I'm going to share my screen with you because I want y'all to see this Instagram. My husband is always coming across these types of Instagrams because he knows that I'm about this life completely, and he be sharing them with me. So let me play this for y'all.
And that young brown boys and girls can look at me and go, hey, he looks like me and he's doing what? And that's great. I love that. But I also hope we are pushing the other direction, that one day we don't have to talk about these first, that one day this is just, and listen to this, that this is the human history. It's
why is it chopping up
about
like this?
Human history. It's the story of humanity, not Black history. Not women's history, but that it becomes human history.
You know, imagine training your entire life, right? You're a fighter pilot.
I don't know why it's glitching like that, y'all. It wasn't glitching like that earlier. That's not annoying.
You're a naval aviator. I think he has like 3 master's degrees. He's done like 3,000 flight hours across 40 different aircraft. The guy, I honestly think, fact check me, has like 400 carrier landings, combat missions over Iraq. The guy is the pinnacle of human achievement. And he's about to orbit the moon. And the first question is about his skin color. Not 168 days on the International Space Station. Not the fact that he flew 40 different aircraft. Not that he's one of 4 humans alive who's currently closer to the moon than to the Earth. His skin color. And Victor Glover's answer was just pure grace. I hope one day this is just human history. I mean, he was being too kind to say what he was really answering, which was, can you please just see me? So yes, Mr. Glover,
okay. My dog. Okay. Y'all, did y'all hear that? Let me see. Hold on a second. I want to share something else with y'all too, but let me get back to my screen because I can't see y'all. Oh, there you are. Okay. Yes. Okay. So Jay Charles, there you go. Because I went there too, right? Because you was like black and brown boys that look like me. Me too. I was like, why did my husband send me this shit? But then when he followed up with that, I was like, chef's kiss. That's exactly what every melanated person needs to do when they're like interviewed by these newscasters, these programmed newscasters, or the newscasters who are given the way to present the question. Because let me tell you something, the only time that for every single, and I'm going to say this, every single quote black end quote person, every single time they do something that is considered extraordinary or of a great feat or anything like that, what is the first thing that is spoken about? Their skin. They are just reduced to their skin. But there are certain people who are no longer allowing that narrative to define, drive, or even be a part of their world. And he had to be politically correct and say, because why? Because the blacks is going to get all up in arms, if he didn't say, well, I am glad that I could represent for people who look like me. Jay Charles, he probably felt like he had to say that. It couldn't be me because I wouldn't have said that at all. Them blacks would have just had to been pissed off. And ain't nothing they could do about it because I gave them my burnt up black card, so they can't give it to nobody else. I burned my black card and I gave them the ashes. So yeah, take that shit back and y'all can't let nobody else use it. But he probably felt like he was obligated to first acknowledge that, but then his follow-up, that is the most important thing. And I think for melanated people, there's a difference between, and Megan McGlover says this too, there's a difference between, quote, black people and melanated people. Melanated people answered the way that this guy answered. That's a melanated person. That's a person who is graduating the conversation. That is a person who is elevating the conversation. That is a person who is pushing the needle forward. That is a person who is taking back their hijacked minds. That is what this gentleman is. I guess he's an astronaut or whatever. I really didn't pay attention. I just knew that when I heard him say that, chef's kiss. Let me see. I'm still looking for the zip code to the black community, and could someone tell me the median income? I may want to move to that. You are so, but J. Charles, you are so funny. Wait, hold on. He said, my soul, my spirit's not limited to an earthly skin color. I ain't gonna let no human tell me otherwise. And I am very grateful to be born in the greatest country on this side of heaven. I'm black. You black? Jerry Charles, you black? And then let me also say this. So, there are people who are still going to use those terms, but they're going to use those terms just for relative purposes, right? Just because it's relative to the conversation, everybody knows it, but they are using those terms consciously, knowing that it is just for the purposes of the conversation, but they don't really subscribe to it. It's just so that people know what they're talking about. And that's great. I have no problem with that. I mean, I really have no problem with people who use it and really subscribe to it and think that that's what they are. I mean, that's how you want to get down. That's how you want to get down. I'm not here to judge. But for me, I am just divorcing the labels all together. All they're in together. Oh, wait a second. Who said that? Oh, you talking about the astronaut? You talking about the astronaut? Yep, he black. I think he melanated. I think him is melanated because he was like, "No, y'all not gonna put me in that box. We're not gonna do that. We're not. I'm gonna let y'all think we're gonna do that, but then I'm gonna turn it on his head to make it about what it's really about: the human being achieving that." Because my skin didn't do anything. My skin had nothing to do with me getting in that astronaut or putting on this helmet. My skin didn't have nothing to do with that, or even qualifying me to be in this position. My skin had nothing to do with that. Yeah, she did. Oh my goodness. And I haven't, you watched the whole thing, the Crawford Experience? Yeah, she be going in. I love me some Messy Michonne. And I love her YouTube personality. I just love it. But okay. Yeah, I want to see that. Remember the woke dude in Don't Be a Menace, I'm black and I'm black. And oh no, I don't remember. I didn't watch those movies too tough. What do we call those movies? The black, what do we call those movies? The exploit, what? Oh no, I guess those movies wouldn't be called the exploitations. These movies would be called something else. I don't know what category that is. But yeah, I don't remember because I didn't watch it like that. I think my Southern Twain just came out. But yes, and yes, I do. A proud watcher of Black cinema. Okay. black exploitation. Yes. Okay. But anyway, okay. And True Secret 11 says she remember. All right. So I want to go and I want to show y'all something else. And I just really want to begin to plant the seeds because, you know, if I had titled this anything like dealing with, you know, Dr. Umar and all his shenanigans, or my videos will be, I don't know if chat.lives.matter is still here, but my videos will be labeled, what's the name? Lit in honor, because that's not a fad for me. I really want to know. I just don't have the time at this point, at this juncture, to really delve into those videos, but it's coming. Oh, best believe it's coming. So, but like I was saying, if I had labeled this live like anything with like Dr. Umar or Lit in honor and Dr. Umar, I would have had like probably 100 people in this room because I've done it before. But because you know that subject matter is it could be low vibrational if we leave it there with Umar Johnson, with all his shenanigans and lying and stealing and conniving and all this, that, and the other, and all of the fraudster that he has shown himself to be. But that is not what I want my channel to be identified with, right? And then I kind of get pigeonholed there and stuck there, but that's not what I want this channel to be. So if I have to do the very slow boil, then I'll take that route, because I want the channel to be just what we are talking about in the comments, in the chat. Okay. I know you're not judging. I'm just joshing with you. Do not get me started on Jermaine. I know. And I did want to watch Lit in honor because he did do a live the other day, and it was talking about something about him being like almost like he got himself in a little pickle or whatever. But then did y'all hear that now he was trying to blame the Jamaican dude for the delay of the certificate of occupancy? And when I even saw a clip of the video, the interview that he did with the Breakfast Club and also somebody else, like, this dude takes no responsibility at all for anything ever. I have been enamored by the downfall of the clown Umar this last 9 months, Black consciousness and all the other mess, the black. Yeah, me too. I haven't been watching him lately, but me too. I mean, it's quite riveting, and it's entertaining as well. And it also is just it makes the Black consciousness community, it just reveals what it is, right? It just reveals what it is. People who are committed and wedded to the victimhood story and not holding themselves to the gold standard of operating. Everything is because, you know, everything happened to them. If it's in a disadvantageous way, everything happens because they're black, right? Like, it's not because I'm messy with my paperwork. It's not because I don't execute well. It's not because I didn't have all my ducks in a row, my T's crossed and my I's dotted. No, that couldn't be it at all. It's not because I missed a deadline for this. No, it's only because I'm black. Rightfully so. The Jamaican contractor told Umar, hell no. And this is the thing. This is the thing I was talking about me in my interviews. Just because you see a melanated person, a person who has the same, you know, hair texture as yours or similar, or you feel like you can relate, don't think that you are going to, it's automatically going to be easy for you. That's insulting, actually. That's what DEI is for, actually. Instead of you working on yourself to get your skill set up to where it needs to be, or if your skill set is already there, then guess what you need to do, boo? You need to change your vibration, because you are still operating and vibrating on a low vibrational frequency of victimhood, or being defined by your skin, and that's the reason why you can't get a job. That's where DEI lives. And so now y'all think that just because you have this, you know, certain skin tone of the largest organ of your body, that now we just got to give you a job because you have the largest skin tone. The largest organ of your body has a certain skin tone to it. What in the Hanezi? What kind of hogwash is that? And people got mad at Charlie Kirk, but I wasn't mad at Charlie Kirk because all of a sudden, you got quote black end quote pilots 2%, and then all of a sudden it jumps to 20%. Yeah, I'm going to be a little nervous too. Especially if that airline company is operating on the DEI program. See, I want the person who is qualified. I don't give a damn what shade your skin tone is. I just need you to get me up in the air safely and down landed safely. I don't care what your skin tone is. Medical Society, I just need you to know exactly what you're doing when you go into the operating room. Not that I'm going to be there. I'm just saying, because anyway, but I need you to know what you're doing. I don't care what the skin tone is. I need you to take pride in your job and put the patient first. That's all I'm caring about. He was not a racist at all. And let me tell you something. And it's so funny how black people, just because he was telling you the truth in your face unapologetically and did not care. Oh, he's a racist. But let somebody else come along and say the same thing who has the same skin tone of you as you, Candace Owen. Y'all ain't like her either, but you couldn't call her a racist. Maybe you call her a Thomasina. I don't know. But, Charlie Kirk was nowhere near. Let's go look. Let's go look. Where is it at? I wanted to show y'all this. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, wait. Oh, share screen. Yep. I'm going to share my screen because I want to show y'all this. For people who want to just think that the skin has everything to do with the human archetype. Let's just look at this. Hold on, y'all. I didn't change my screen. Hold on. I am so sorry. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Never mind. Oh, come on, come on. Why are you glitching? Whatever is this trying to stop this truth from coming in. Not here. Hold on. Wait. Okay. Wait, no, not line. Okay. Well, it's going to glitch on me. But y'all see what I'm talking about though, right? Y'all see that this is a non-melanated woman. And you know where I got this from? I got this from Dr. Umar. I know he was putting this up for a different reason, but I'm pointing out the fact that her skin had nothing to do with anything. Her skin had nothing to do. And I used to do West African based dance. So I know these moves that she's doing. And I'm just mad that, hold on a second. That is so weird. Anyway, I used to do West African based dance. So I'm very familiar with those moves, and that's very authentic and organic. And her skin had nothing to do with it. Now, speaking globally and generally, yeah, no, most non-melanated people are not moving like that. But when it is in your spirit, then it's nothing that should be questioned. It's evident that she did not, study this. And you know how like the blacks, the blacks want to say, oh, they studied this. And like Tina Marie, I'm dating myself, but if any of y'all know who Tina Marie is, y'all put some blue hearts in the chat if you know who Tina Marie is. Yes, absolutely. In Truth Seeker 11, she was doing the dance of the. She's tapping into the ancestral energy, into the ancestral vibe. Because guess what? The skin color does not matter, especially not in that realm. There's no such thing. There's absolutely no such thing. Whoever is still here, if y'all will go ahead and hit that like button for me, please. Thank you so much. Heck, I can't. J. Charles, and I am black. As the Ace of Spades from Memphis, and we all black in Memphis. Yes. So absolutely, and thank you for the blue hearts. Yes. Okay, and okay, corporate experience. Thank you, and thank you for stopping by. Enjoy your dinner. I know you left already, but yeah. And so, and that proves that it's Tina Marie when they were talking about, oh, she stole. How ignorant can you be? She stole our rhythm. She said, first of all, it's not your rhythm. You didn't create this rhythm. You didn't create the fact that your body can move a certain way to the rhythm. Your soul is moving to the rhythm. It's not you. You didn't create any of this. But anyway, they would try to say, oh, the quote, white, end quote, the non-melanated people are, stealing this and stealing that. They can't steal nothing. It was in Tina Marie. That was, I got somebody who know about Tina Marie. Yes, Lady T all day, every day. Tina Marie is by far my favorite artist of all time, especially female artists by far. Everybody knows what a Tina Marie fanatic that I am. I even call myself Lady T. Yeah. Yes, they do. And the reason why is because they're still living in that state of inferiority. They're still living in the state of having to prove something. And so that's why claiming everything and being responsible for and claiming to create everything and being responsible for everything shows the value, because they're still missing their own self-worth and self-value. Because once you have that, you realize you ain't gotta prove nothing to nobody. Let people think what they want to think. You know the truth. And that's ego that has to go out and prove that, no, I did this. I get credit for this. Who give two shits? As long as it gets done, as long as you're not tapping into my pockets, and if people are enjoying it, I don't care. I don't care. Like if I'm running a shift, if I'm running an event and it's going flawlessly, people don't have to know that I'm in the background making it all happen. They ain't got to know that. I don't have to come out and be like, yes, I was a captain of this event, or yes, I was a manager on duty, or no, ain't nobody got to know that. Yes. And that's exactly what it's saying, J. Charles. It's saying that I am not the best psychologist. What it's saying is that I have, what do you call it? It is when a person is inferior, but the person is insecure. The person is insecure, and Umar is very insecure because, first of all, he's not even a psychologist. He doesn't even carry a current license, according to Lennon, the Umarologist. So that is, oh my God, deja vu. Okay, intrusive. Oh my God, deja vu. And Tina Marie was very spiritual. And you did, okay, see, J. Charles, you see how in True Secret 11, you see how she spelled Tina Marie? I know it's not your generation, so I'm not going to get on you. And I don't even know if it's in Truth Seeker's generation, but this is how you spell Tina Marie, Miss Lady T. Okay? Yeah, it doesn't need to be publicized. He ain't never had a license, or he had a certificate, right? He had something. But yes. Okay. Let me go grab one more thing. And then it's playing now. Let me see if I can get it to play for y'all. Because this is fire. She's fire. Yes, video. I'm gonna go back. Oh, not that. Where am I? Where is? Okay, here it is. Okay, y'all see this person right here? I'm gonna show you one more video. But this person right here. Let me see. Let me go back. Can y'all see this? Did I share that other video with y'all? Okay. Y'all see this person
And then
right
my
here?
shoulder felt like it was about to just fall off.
Okay.
You know,
His name is
nothing
David
in that
Williams.
pain said to me, heart. Nothing.
That's David Williams. Oh, y'all, I am messing up. Oh, no, there you go. Okay. That's David Williams. And he's actually going to, yes, she is a legend. I know him. I met him. He had an out of body experience, and I'm not going to give his whole story, but just to let you know, he was once one of those black people. Okay, and he had, I said out of body, y'all. He had a brief death experience. People call it a near death experience, but how can you be near death? If a person actually transitioned and then they came back into their body, that's a brief death experience, right? So anyway, so he had a brief death experience, and I am honored to say I know him, and we are going to. He has agreed to do an interview on YouTube because he also has a YouTube channel. Y'all, please go over there and support his YouTube channel. Is at David Williams, I believe. Oh, here, I do this.
I'm losing my breath. It just feels like I'm suffering.
Williamson. David Williamson. Okay. That is at David Williamson. And he had a brief death experience, and his story is absolutely phenomenal. And so now he's going around the world sharing his story, and he is going to come to the mental chiropractor, and we're going to do this probably next week. I need to actually text him today or call him today to see when we can schedule this. So it's either going to be next week or the first week in May. Phenomenal. Jay Charles, you are so freaking funny. Right? He has a radio voice. David has a radio voice. The Barry White documentary, Lord have mercy. Yes. Yeah, you're most welcome. Yeah, no, but he yeah, they do to their mansions where white tea is served. Yeah, you know what churches teach that, Jay Charles? The black churches. That's the church that Umar is going to, he's talking about becoming a pastor. So that's what he's going to be spewing from the pulpit along with all the other black preachers. Okay, so one more, y'all. How are we doing, y'all? I did good today, right? This is like 2 hours, right? 2.5 hours. I did good today. I up my stamina. Okay, so let me do this. Okay, I want y'all to just read this. Let me. Oh, did I share it? Oh, I am sharing. So then, what the hell? Okay, wait. This needs to do justice. The whole thing. Okay. Oh, okay. Anyway, so you see this right here. You see this non-melanated man with the flag on it, and the melanated brother with, Malcolm X. And the caption says, "Why is it so fucking hard?" The non-melanated man says, "Government is a problem." The melanated man says, "Government is a problem. Let's fix this shit together." That's what it's about. That is what will get the system, the machine, the establishment, the invisible ones. This right here, y'all, this is what gets them nervous. Not Black Lives Matter. We're going to talk about that bullshit, but not Black Lives Matter, doing their thing over there. Not the MAGA people, not that they're non-melanated, but you know what I'm saying, but not the MAGA people over here doing their thing over here, or that's exactly what they want. Y'all, let me stop sharing this because I think we're finished. That's exactly what they want, right? And we know that. Oh, wait, stop, y'all. What happened? No, I don't want to leave the site. Y'all, what happened? What'd I do? Hold on, y'all. Lord Jesus, I be glad when I get big enough for producer, because I don't know what I did. I just did something, and this is all the way small now for me. I don't know if it's small for y'all, but it's small for me. But I guess I don't need to see myself. Whoop! I don't need to see myself that big. Lord Jesus. Okay, there we go. So, what was I saying? Yeah. So that is what gets them nervous. That right there, the non-melanated and the melanated coming together in that hand claps and saying, let's end this shit. That's what gets them nervous. That is what begins to starve the machine. Because I need us to understand the gravity of the strength of their energy when we are divided. That is their strength. That is what they completely feed off of. That is what keeps the machine going. That's what keeps the external power structure in place. It is that. But when we begin to come together as one, because let me tell you something now, I'm just going to say this as a global statement, because I understand now there may be some other shit going on that looks like humans, but they're not humans, but whatever. We're talking about the human beings. There is not one single solitary human being that is not a part of the cosmic fabric, the cosmic blueprint, the cosmic quilt. We are all one. We all come from the one source. We are all one. We are all expressions and sparks of the divine. We are all God expressed outwardly. And no matter what the expression is, it may be what we deem a bad expression or a horrible expression, but the universe is expressing itself through us in order to know who it is. See, the one comes out of oneness into I'm not gonna say y'all almost said two-ness, but duality. We come from one to duality back to oneness. That's where it is. The universe comes out of itself into duality to experience itself, and so that to know and to come back to oneness is where that divine connection is. That's where our divine power is. That's where that infinite potential lives. Went to. Okay. All right. Thank you. So I did good, y'all. I did good. Thank you for everybody who came through. Let me see. We had Scorpio Mama come through. We had chat.lives.matter come through. I got my ride or dies in True Secret 11 here. I got Jay Charles here, and anybody else who came through. I really appreciate y'all. I really, really do. Y'all don't understand how much this means to me. I could do it. Yeah, we're going to get there though. We're going to get there where we're going to come together on a regular basis. We're going to get there. We are. All right, y'all. If y'all have anything else y'all want to say in the comment section, in the chat before we shut it on down, but y'all enjoy the rest of your beautiful Sunday evening wherever you are in the world. And I know, Jay Charles, you said you're in Memphis. I was in Tennessee for my mother's birthday. We had a good time. All right. Thank you. I enjoyed myself too. All right, y'all. Much love to you. And I'll figure out whatever my sign-off handle is going to be. But until then, y'all, much love to you. And I'll see you next time. Toodles.